As Wish TV celebrates Black history, we're going inside a historic downtown apartment building with a rich history.
Lockefield Gardens has not always operated as a typical complex. News 8's Cody Adams is there live to take us back in time. Cody?
Good morning. Yeah, Lockefield Gardens, located along Indiana Avenue, just across from IUPUI's campus, now serves as a typical apartment complex. But at one point, it was a vibrant community for African Americans in Indianapolis.
There was poverty. We're coming in and out of the Depression. The housing stock was pre-war in many cases, in many cities.
In an effort to bolster the economy as part of President Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal, the Public Works Administration funded 50 low-cost public housing projects in 20 states. Lockefield Gardens was the first major public housing property in Indianapolis. It was also specifically designed for African Americans. Susan Hall Dotson is the African American Collections Curator at the Indiana Historical Society.
They had new appliances, new state-of-the-art appliances that were emerging at that time. There were open spaces, there were courtyards and playgrounds. They were marketed as this new oasis of newness.
But Lockefield Gardens didn't come without controversy. In order to build the new housing project, many homes on that property were declared slums and ordered to be demolished.
It displaced people who were already there when they demolished the existing homes. Many of them did not qualify because they didn't earn enough to live there, so they had to migrate to other parts of the city to live.
Hall says the creation of Lockefield Gardens also created an intentional divide at the time.
There were white housing projects and black housing projects, so then it created the segregated divide. So where people may have lived together based on income, now they were based on race.
Lockefield Gardens opened in 1938. Long before that, Indiana Avenue was a flourishing area for black culture in Indianapolis. Dr. Patricia Turley is an assistant professor of Africana Studies at IUPUI.
It was the residents that took this ownership and really built this community together.
The addition of these new living spaces only added to an already thriving community. The residents who lived there continued to build a place where black Hoosiers in the city could have fun, relax, and watch their families flourish.
That sense of community, that sense of family, even if they're not my children, I'm going to be watching out, making sure, now you ain't supposed to be doing that, right? So those types of things we saw in Lockefield.
But things began to shift for Lockefield Gardens in the 1950s. As communities began to be more integrated and upkeep of the property began to waver, it wasn't long before many of the residents began to move.
Expansions and other things were creeping around Indiana Avenue neighborhood and Lockefield before they actually closed it.
Much of the area continued to change, and in the late 1970s, the apartments closed and were partially demolished. This made way for IUPUI's expansion in the 1980s. After demolitions, only 6 of the original 24 buildings remained, and they were placed on the National Registry of Historic Places. The other units were rehabilitated, and new ones were built to house the athletes of the Pan Am Games in 1987. After the games, the apartments were rented out to IUPUI students. This is Lockefield Gardens years ago, and what it looks like today, as you can see from our Wish TV Aviator drone. The next time you drive past Lockefield Gardens, take a second to recognize the history that it holds and the role that it played in African American history in Indianapolis. Live in Indianapolis, Cody Adams, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.